I'm Shiva.
I'm Sandy.
And this is
Our Relaxing Hobby. Hello.
Hi.
Tonight's episode is going to be a little bit about ornaments.
Yes.
Tank ornaments, aquarium ornaments, and what kind of do's, don'ts, or issues that we found with ours.
Yeah, and things you might not even think about.
Right, which we didn't. We didn't, and we're learning. Everything is a learning curve for us, so, you know, it's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean,
which is fun. Some of them are funny learning curves.
Oh, yeah.
Some of them are painful.
Yeah, some of them are painful, some are funny, some are just like, you're like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so let's start with, I don't know, let's start with the one you had to break.
Okay.
So,
okay, all right, let's first talk a little bit about what ornaments are, how they're made, and where the problem I've been finding with ornaments is that now we're starting to look more at ornaments that are made for aesthetic reasons, and they're not taking into consideration the fact that these are going to be in with living creatures.
Right, the sharp edges.
You've got sharp edges. You've got
small openings.
Small openings.
That was a problem. I don't think that they take into consideration some of these fish get in some crazy positions.
Yeah.
Some crazy things. They do some crazy things.
Right, and the ornaments look cool.
They look really cool.
Really cool.
You got to kind of be careful.
Then you got to remember, but then you really have to think about the behavior of the fish that are going to be in that tank.
In that tank, right? Like the bristlenose get into some crazy positions.
Right, like the story she wants to tell, which is about the crazy bubble guy who was a samurai ornament that I thought
looked amazing.
Well, it looked cool,
really
especially next to our temple, which we will talk about soon.
Yeah.
I have the temple here, but I don't have the crazy. I don't have
crazy bubble guy's gone.
Guy. Yeah. You can tell them why I don't have crazy bubble guy.
See, she had bristlenose plecos breed, and a lot. And you know, they told us when we first got. Remember when we first got bristlenose? They told us they didn't. It was very hard to breed them. It is not.
Wow.
If you have an ornament that they can fit in, they will breed. If there's a male and a female, you're going to have babies.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was Crazy Bubble Guy was just big enough for the female. The females are smaller. Mm-hmm. Males are generally larger. And she got in there and laid eggs. And the male followed her up in there, and he won't leave the eggs until they're hatched. And even then, he takes care of the babies.
Yeah, he takes care of them for
so
about
he was
10
up
days.
in Crazy Bubble Guy, and he couldn't get out because he got stuck in Crazy Bubble Guy because he somehow managed to squeeze his little happy ass up in there.
Yeah, but he couldn't turn around.
But he couldn't turn around to get out, and he couldn't back out. So we had to break Crazy because we realized that the babies were all coming out, and he was not.
Yeah.
So
the babies weren't even born because we found the eggs.
He found the eggs. Yeah. And why did we take Crazy Bubble Guy at the beginning? It's because you hadn't seen him in a couple of days.
I hadn't seen the male in a couple of days.
And so, he was stuck.
And
completely
he was stuck in the head of Crazy Bubble Guy.
Yeah.
So Gareth had to take a hacksaw and very carefully, underwater mind you, we had to get a big old tub, hold the ornament underwater so we wouldn't kill the pleco inside, and then Gareth's sitting here with a hacksaw decapitating Crazy Bubble Guy.
We should have got that on video.
Yeah, we were all nervous as hell because he was like, millimeters away from the pleco. It was like, okay, this pleco's going to die if we leave him in there, and he might die if he accidentally gets cut with this hacksaw, but what the hell else are we going to do?
Right, you couldn't just break it because then the glass would have cut it.
It wasn't glass, it was
the ornament, you couldn't break it because the shards of it probably would have cut him up.
Not to mention blunt force trauma on the pleco.
Yeah.
So fortunately, Gareth did a great job, and we didn't save the eggs, but we did get the male pleco out, and we tossed the decapitated Crazy Bubble Guy out. But that's something that can happen.
Yeah, you got to kind of be careful because and then there was years ago I had a guppy of all things get in at one of those things, the treasures that go up and down with the bubbles. Mm-hmm. And I got a guppy in the lid, and it got stuck up in there when it was going up and down, and it literally got stuck and died.
Oh wow!
So you got to watch these. I mean, believe it or not, these ornaments are they can be something that simple.
Yeah, I very recently had an incident with the baby ropefish with the mangrove.
Right.
Now the mangrove is a great little ornament.
We can show you some video.
Yeah, we'll show you some video. The mangrove is a great favorite of the ropefish. I mean, it's got all these places that they can crawl into. They like caves. Unfortunately, we have a very small
ropefish right now.
ropefish, who is extremely interested in finding places to hide. And she's found 2 fun places. The first was easy. That was at the bottom of the planter. I could get her out of that, no problem. But the second is she got into the teeniest crevice of this mangrove that she couldn't get out. So I had to literally sit there with a blunt stick and kind of poke her, push her out.
A little bit at a time.
A little bit at a time. She was not happy with me. I didn't see her for 2 days after that.
Yeah. So, I mean, you gotta kind of keep your fish type when you have certain things. I mean, the mangrove had been in there for years, but all the other ropefish were bigger.
Right, so I took it out, and it's not going back in there until baby grows up a little bit.
Until she grows up a little bit. Yeah, it has to grow up a little bit.
Yeah, because otherwise she'll get stuck and die.
And then we have, let's see, right now you have in there for the pluggers, you have the plate, the boat.
Yeah.
And then there's something else. There's
the house.
The house.
Yeah.
And then there was the Temple of Love.
Yes, the Temple of Love is right here. This is the Temple of Love. Now this is actually a great ornament. There are all kinds of little holes where the fish can go in and out.
Yeah.
It's completely hollow underneath.
Yeah.
But it's big. I mean, nobody's getting stuck in this head.
Right.
So Temple of Love, we call it the Temple of Love because...
Yeah, I'm sure it's some kind of Buddha thing, but
yeah,
it's the Temple of Love because it causes them to breed like maniacs.
Yeah, we put this in a pleco tank, and we've got babies and
babies. Yeah.
So we nicknamed this ornament
the Temple of Love. So we took the Temple of Love out because we don't need that many babies right now. We have enough.
Yeah.
The other ornaments they have to work at a little bit. This one not so much. They just appear and they make babies in it.
Yeah. I mean, it is a great ornament. Yeah. That's a good example of what to look for in an ornament.
Right. Yeah. Lots of open holes.
Large. You can get in there and get anybody out.
Yeah. I mean, it's.
This is a really.
Because I like to use like rock. Like the rock shaped with the big openings.
Yeah.
I like to do things like that. Caves.
Well, like another example is this one here. I pulled this one out for the same reason. This is one that your daughter gave us.
Okay.
And it's pots, but there are plenty of large holes here for the animals to swim in. But you can see. Look at this.
Yeah. It's hello.
Hi. No problems getting
right. They're not getting stuck.
Nobody's
not getting stuck in
there.
This. Right.
So these are things to look for when you're looking for ornaments. So you're going to be tempted to go for those really cool ones.
Right.
But if there's any small crevices, you got to think, what kind of fish am I having?
What do I have in here? Because like I said, my guppy literally got stuck in a treasure chest that opened and closed with the air bubbles.
Yep.
And she got stuck in the lid and ended up dying. So.
Now here's an example of what I'm talking about. This is another one. It's a cool little rock thing.
Right.
I wouldn't put this anywhere near plecos.
Okay.
Look at how it is.
All right, because see this is where you run into the problem.
They go up in here.
They go in there and then they can't get out.
And then they get stuck and they can't get out.
Yeah.
And you have a dead pleco who's jacking up your ammonia level in your tank.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't dream of putting this in with plecos.
Right. Yeah, you gotta really keep these things in mind, and it's crazy to think of, but you really do.
Yeah.
And then I think you have some wood down there.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
issue with
that one.
Okay, so that's just basic care of your fish, making sure you get something that isn't going to harm them. They're not going to get stuck in. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind.
I mean, basically, the general rule of thumb is know what kind of animals you're going to be putting in with the ornament.
Right.
If you really fall in love with the type of ornament that has all these teeny crevices and whatnot.
You don't necessarily want to bristle those pleco.
Well, no. If you have to make sure that the fish are bigger than the holes. If that's the case, because if anything get in there and die, they will.
And they will. Yeah, they will bury themselves in things all the time. I swear they try. Yeah. They aim.
Oh yeah. Well, like the other day when I lifted up an ornament and a pleco falls off onto the ground, it's like, okay.
Yeah, she checked the ornament and she pulled it out of there and. There was a pleco attached. Even though she looked at it and looked for one, she didn't see it.
I didn't see it until
it was an external ornament. It wasn't even an internal ornament. It was an external, and he got on it, and they can disappear. They blend right in, and he blended right in, and here we are catching it in a cup, hoping it doesn't fall behind anything before you get to it. It was funny.
Yeah, I mean, these are things that happen.
Yeah.
So basically, if you fall in love with an ornament, consider what kind of fish you have in your tank.
Yeah.
And remember, dead fish will jack up your ammonia real quick, and that'll kill all your other fish if you don't catch it quick enough.
And it happens fast, especially if you have a 10-gallon tank, your ammonia levels can spike within hours. I mean, short hours. I'm not talking 8 or 10. I'm talking 2 or 3.
Yeah.
The bigger tanks, it may take a day or two with the dead fish, but it still can happen. So just kind of be careful. get me off subject, start talking about ammonia.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
oh, by the way, if you have any questions, comments, like, subscribe, share.
Comment below.
Comment below.
Ask questions.
Ask questions. But, okay, so now we're gonna talk about a different kind of ornament.
Right, and that's the wooden ornaments.
Okay.
Now, wood ornaments, like this one, are actually really good for what we call designer plecos, which are like bristlenose, the zebra plecos, the specialty plecos, the smaller ones or the fancy ones.
Right.
They actually use wood to I think rough up it does something with the way that they eat.
Okay.
I forgot the exact science to it.
I know
but
somebody, they
basically-
told us we needed it, I remember that.
Yeah, but basically, if you have a specialty pleco, you always want to have some sort of wooden ornament in your tank, even if it's just a piece of driftwood, so they can, do that.
Right.
There are two problems I have with wood ornaments. The first one is that if you don't soak them ahead of time,
Soak.
you need to soak them ahead of time and keep an
days.
eye, and keep an eye on them because they can develop mold.
Yeah, but let's go back to the soak. It will change your water
It'll-
reddish brown.
Yeah, the tannins in the wood will turn your aquarium tea colored. Now, if you're going for a black water tank, that's exactly what you want. But if you're not going for a black water tank and you actually want to see your fish, you're going to want to soak the hell out of these first.
Yeah.
And even then, you're still
I
going to
made
have
that mistake.
slightly.
I made the mistake. Yeah, it took several days I had to clearly empty the whole tank down several times to get rid of all of it.
Yeah.
And it took like a week for that stuff to. Yeah, it's a thing.
So, I mean, I've heard that boiling these
we tried
helps out. I haven't tried it either.
If you have already tried this and boiled your wood
Ornaments, right here.
by all means, comment below. We'd
Let
love
us
to
know.
know so we could save our kitchen.
Yes,
So-
because we will destroy our kitchen boiling ornaments, and it'll be hilarious, and everybody who lives with us will laugh at us and then kill us.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, pretty much. So anyway, and then there was another type of ornament that she wanted to talk about a little bit. And this is not something Sandy plays with, so
This is something Shiva plays with.
This is something Shiva plays with.
But it's if you're, if you go with theme tanks like I do sometimes, you're going to be really tempted to do this. So I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of an idea of how I've managed to do it successfully and how I've managed to do it unsuccessfully. Yeah. And that is finding something like a statue or something and making it into a fish ornament. Now, the first thing is that when you find statuary, a lot of the times they're painted, and so you're going to need to seal it. Because if you
seal it well.
Because if you put any type of a painted, just raw painted decoration in your tank, it's going to eat away at that paint. It could even be toxic to your fish, depending on how it's painted.
Yeah, we're not sure on that, but we're not going to take a chance.
Yeah, we won't take a chance. So at least it might color your water.
Yeah.
You could put the
Big
incredible,
flecks
put the Incredible Hulk in there, and all of a sudden your water's green.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Wow, you filled the
see
aquarium
it.
with antifreeze.
We haven't done that yet,
No,
but we've come close.
We've come close. So what you need to do when you're looking for ornaments, first of all, you want to make sure that the statue or whatever that you have is made of either like resin or ceramic or something like that. You don't want anything too porous, and you don't want anything that will disintegrate in water. And some materials will, so no polymer or anything like that. You really want to go with resin, plastic, things like that. As far as being able to make sure that they will actually stay at the bottom. If you have hollow plastic ornaments, they're just going to float at the top, so you'll have to fill them with something.
I can see that actually happening, so.
So can I.
Yeah.
So you will have to fill them with something
something
like sand, and then plug the bottoms, and then seal them, so they stay at the bottom. You also want to make sure that you don't have any holes. We talked about that earlier.
Right.
You don't want any fish getting caught up in anything. Now, I have successfully done this with my Medusa, which I put in our sorority.
Right.
Because we needed a Greek patron goddess
We
for
did
that
that. We
tank.
needed that, did we?
We did. We needed a patron goddess for our sorority, so I decided Medusa. And
Of course you
basically, I found this wonderful statue of Medusa. Lovely detail and whatnot, and I got some clear aquarium grade resin. And I just coated it. I put it on wax paper so I could peel it right off afterwards, otherwise the resin will drip down and stick to whatever you're working on. So if you're doing it on a table, it's going to become a permanent part of your table.
Right.
So use wax paper.
Wax paper.
Yes, wax paper is fabulous for this.
Right.
but basically what I did was I started at the bottom. I turned her upside down and I did the
Right, the bottom
base
first. Yeah, you want to do the bottom. Don't forget the bottom.
Right. So I did the bottom base first, let that dry, and then I turned her back around and did all the detail and let
Every
her
little bit,
dry
yeah, get every little bit.
And she's beautiful, and
We'll get you some video for her.
Yeah, she's been in the sorority for a while now, and she's their little goddess.
Yeah.
Now, after successfully doing Medusa, I thought to myself, I had this ornament that came out of an old oil lamp from back in the 50s. If you don't know what an oil rain lamp is they were these. They usually had something in the center of them, and then there was like this cage of like fishing line, and then it was rigged up so oil would drip down like rain, and following the lines to the bottom, and then there was a pump that came up there. I wish I had video of it.
It's okay.
It's like, I mean, I remember it being in my grandmother's living room, and I was just fascinated with it. So I inherited the thing, and of course it broke. The oil mechanism broke and all that bit. So I ended up taking it apart. I think I still have the cage for it somewhere, but I really liked the three muses. These three muses right here. I really like these. So when I was thinking, we were going with a Greek theme on our tanks, I wanted to use this. The problem is it's a bit top heavy, as you can see. It's a bit top heavy, so it needed to have some sort of a heavier base on it.
Right.
And I had these stone bases that have wood attached to them that just unscrew, so I thought, okay, I'll use one of those. I'll just, this has a hole in it, so I can just stick it right on there and it'll stay put. So that's what I did. I coated all of this, and I left this open, so I had the hole. And I stuck it in the hexagon aquarium. And after about a week, we started noticing this film developing on the top of the water that smelled really
it's horrible.
It was weird. It smelled like sickly sweet.
Yeah, gross.
And it took me a while for my lizard brain to trigger what it was.
Yeah, we had no idea what it was. We kept changing the water.
Yeah, we had
no idea what it was.
It took a while before all of a sudden it dawned on me that I knew that scent, and that scent was from the fucking oil from the rain lamp from the 50s. Now, granted, when I knew it was 70s, I think it died in the 80s. So we're still talking a good chunk of time that this oil has been in this inside the statue. Guess where it came out of?
Yeah, the hole she left.
The hole I left. So now I'm going to have to turn this around, completely seal this, and I'm probably going to have to glue it to a base or something in order to be able to use it as an ornament. Yeah, so,
of course you are.
I mean, it's heavy, feel it.
I know.
It's really heavy.
I know, it is heavy, but it is top heavy, so we'll tip.
It's very top heavy,
unless you
so it
put
needs
something
to be like a brick or something.
Yeah.
So,
but still, it was gross. And
all it took was a little hole and everything.
That, who would think?
Yeah, especially oil that's been sitting in here for like 30 years.
Yeah.
Or more.
So there are when you get a cute ornament and you're not 100% sure and it has a hole in it, cover it.
Yeah, you're gonna want to
seal that.
You're gonna want to seal it, otherwise you end up with a yucky tank. Now we got really lucky that it wasn't toxic to the fish.
Yeah, it actually didn't make anybody sick.
Not at all.
Not one fish.
I mean, we still have
all the lemon tetras.
All the lemon tetras were in there.
Yeah.
And they're all still with us.
Yeah, we'll have to get some video of them. They are there.
Yeah.
They're not real pleased. They're not real pleased with Edsel and camo, but
yeah, but you might not be so lucky. I mean,
it could have been anything.
It could have been anything that it was used for. The same holds true with like glass bottles that might have held liquor, or worse, like some sort of oil or something that could be toxic.
You never know.
Fish.
Yeah, gotta
God,
kind of
I
be careful.
can still smell the.
I'm not sniffing your hand on the TV.
Well, here. I mean, I can still smell the oil on this. I mean, even on my hands.
Yeah, it smells nice though.
Yeah, now it smells nice because it's not invading our aquarium, but at the time it was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Gareth was blaming a high-protein diet for crying out loud.
We had no idea.
Nobody could figure out it was normal.
And by all means, like, comment, and subscribe below on this one.
Call me an idiot.
Call us all idiots. But none of us figured it out.
Until it dawned on me, wait a minute, I know that smell.
Yeah.
From when I was like 4.
Yeah. Yeah, we had no idea.
Yeah, so
that was interesting.
So basically the lesson learned here is completely seal any non-aquatic ornament that you want to put in there.
Especially if it's been used it's at some other time, not brand new,
If it's been, basically if you find something in a garage sale, you have no idea where that thing's been.
Right. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
But again, I mean, ornaments are fun. We all of our tanks have ornaments.
Yeah, and
multiples. I'll have to get some video of the different ornaments.
And
that are ready.
eventually I'm going to be making ornaments by
Yeah.
making, sculpting and casting and doing all that as soon as I
Yeah.
get my workshop up and running.
So, yeah, I mean, we
We're
like
gonna have some
ornaments.
fun.
Yeah, we like ornaments.
And
So, but just kind of be careful. Keep it in the back of your mind. And if you
Yeah.
have any questions, let us know. We'd be happy to check into it for you, and you can tell us what kind of fish you have. And if we feel that ornament would be safe, we'd be happy to let you know.
yeah, or their habits. Like you might
Yeah.
not know about some cute little habits that some
Yeah.
fish have until it's too late.
Right. Yeah.
So
But can't you just see? I mean, the cories are pretty resilient, but can't you just see those little suckers getting stuck in something?
Oh God. Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see
because
that.
they are just so inquisitive and nosy and pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have Pod with his skull, and he loves his skull.
Yeah.
He's in there all the time with
Yeah.
his cories, all of them.
Yeah. But luckily the skull is very large.
But the skull has
Yeah.
very big eye holes, so he can get in and out, no
Yeah.
problem. I saw some that I wanted that were Viking helmet shaped, but the holes were so small. I was like, I can just see, maybe not Pod, but one of the cories getting stuck in it. And so, even though I really wanted Viking for my Helheim, I ended up with just a skull because,
Which is good enough.
yeah, but I still wanted
Okay,
something
we'll
a little
find
bit
something.
more Nordic. No, I'll make something
She'll
eventually.
make
but,
something.
Yeah,
Not me.
I
I'm
mean,
not
soon-
making anything.
Soon, in a couple of months, I should have my studio up and running. I'll be able to start sculpting again, and then we're gonna have some fun.
Oh Lord. Yeah, we'll have
Oh,
to
yeah.
videotape some of that.
Oh yeah, it'll be like,
But-
okay, yeah, we're gonna have some interesting ornaments. But
And if you have any interesting stories about your ornaments, by all means, let us know. We'd love to hear some more stories because we have
yeah.
no lives.
we really don't.
We really
This is
don't.
sad.
This is our life.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, share. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.